Hi, everyone. So I'm with Samir today. Samir is from New Zealand, and he is an architect by profession. He dropped everything to come here to help heal his TSW and to use CAP. We'll learn about his story today. Um, I have a real affinity and soft spot for Samir. I remember meeting him early on when he came here. My mom and I hosted him for dinner, and we both struggle with a complication called hardened skin. And Samir will talk about what that is. But yeah, I mean, with that, I say it emotionally because it's a real struggle for both of us. But if you look at him, and I'm going to show you photos, he's come an exceptionally long way. So Samir, thanks for doing this with us.
No worries, yeah.
And first of all, how many treatments are you in?
So far, I am at 25 treatments, and I will be leaving Bangkok with 27 treatments.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Uh, so 27 treatments. How do you feel today here in Bangkok?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better than I first actually got here. Skin's a lot stronger. I have went through a couple of flare-ups in the last few weeks. That was due to some cleaning that I did in my apartment, and I got overexposed to probably older chemicals and a lot of dust in the apartment. As we all know, Bangkok is quite polluted, so there's a lot of dust in Bangkok. So I think that flared me up a bit. So I'm on the come down from that flare up. But other than that, I have been progressing really well. Um, uh, Dealing with a lot of my hardened skin. I think a lot of it has gone away. I still do have a big severe case going on, as we both are. But yeah, no, I think I'm pretty confident with the way I am right now. I am really nervous, obviously, to go back home because back home doesn't have an irritant-free 100% guarantee, as well as there's no cap back home. So yeah, I guess I am a bit nervous to go back home, thinking about how I'm gonna deal with things as it comes, and yeah, pretty much kind of where
Samir,
I'm sitting at.
describe for everybody what hardened skin is.
Hardened skin. Okay. Hardened skin is kind of like
Use the mic.
this thick sort of layer that you have in certain areas of your skin. It's the texture is different to normal skin. It's like thickened. It looks different. You look reptilian. Um, yeah, it just doesn't cope the same way as normal skin does, and it's really tough. If you think, I think a good way to think of it for a normal person would be when you have a labor job, or when you go to the gym or something like that, you get calluses on your palms. It's similar to that. It's really tough. It's really hard, and it just doesn't go away because it's very stubborn and
Why do we get
damaged.
it? Why do we get it?
Well, I got it from moisturizing. Obviously, I've been moisturizing since the age of 5. Um, a constant moisturizer. So I cannot tell you a time where I didn't moisturize. Like I would wake up, shower, moisturize, come back home from school, shower, moisturize, go to sleep. If I have a shower before I go to sleep, moisturize, shower, moisturize, shower, moisturize, shower, moisturize. That has been the routine since I've been 5 years old, consistently. So moisturizing was number one. Number two, obviously, is the steroid use, and number three is the heavy itching and scratching that has gotten me hard
Thank
skin.
you. Thank you for defining that for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
You came here 25 treatments ago.
yep,
Again, I'm going to profile the photos of what you looked like when
yeah,
you
sure, yeah,
arrived.
yeah.
Describe describe that. Describe your emotions. Describe what it
When
felt
I
like when
when
you
I got
arrived
here,
here. Yeah.
I think when I got here, I was in a complete different headspace to what I am right now. Although there were people telling me like Jay or you or other cat patients telling me there's hope. I was talking to people like Soul, which was kind of a similar, another brown boy, similar hands looking and things like that. They were telling me, oh, it's gonna be okay, blah blah blah, like you're gonna get better. But in my head, I was like, I have no hope. Nothing's gonna work. The first, because as you know, that I will tell everyone else now. I was still moisturizing when I got here, so I was still moisturizing 2 to 3 times a day, in the minimum when I got here. So I was still trying to withdraw from the part of moisturizing because I was essentially addicted to moisturizing.
Which moisturizers did you use?
Just some basics like Cerave. Cerave. Before that, I used a product called Palmer's Cocoa Butter, which is quite famous. Everyone will know about that. And yeah, those are the two that I used. And I stopped using Palmer's Cocoa Butter before I got here, but I still use Cerave quite a bit when I still got here, which is 2 to 3 times a day. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, I had to still drop moisturizing when I got here, which I successfully did in I think the fourth session or the third session it was. It was difficult. I think the lead up to it was more difficult than the post of it because when once I dropped moisturizing, there was something in my body that just clicked, and it was just okay. Like I was okay with it. I was coping with it fine. Eventually, my skin stopped getting as irritated as it used to. I was less itchy, and just a whole bunch of other things that came with it. Yeah.
Tell me, okay, I'm going to ask you to go deep here.
Mm-hmm.
What did it feel like physically to stop moisturizing?
Ooh.
Bring this up here.
Physically, I mean, it's an addiction, right? So like when I dropped it, it was in my head. 20. I wouldn't say I felt it. I wouldn't say the feeling was physical, but the feeling mentally was the big barrier for me. Um, Thinking about it all the time, thinking, oh, I need to moisturize right now. I need to, as soon as I get back to the apartment or as soon as I find a bathroom, I need to. It's like I'm a fiend for it. I was a fiend for it. Like I was always just like, okay, sweet, this is the next time I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna feel better and I'll be fine. But once I dropped moisturizing, that feeling week by week, or not even week by week, day by day, it just diminished. Like I did not want to like I do not want to touch moisturizer
Ever again.
ever
Ever
again,
again.
ever again. And maybe one day I will at a real low amount when I've got normal skin. But for the time being, I am good and okay without it. Like I'm fine. Yeah.
So before you got here and you were dealing with TSW, hardened skin, you probably didn't even know or appreciate what hardened skin was.
Well, I knew about it. I understood it to a certain degree, but I didn't understand it fully until I got here.
You were
Yeah.
probably flaring back home because now you have all this knowledge about
Of
irritants and
course,
you're
yes, yeah.
exposed to irritants. Samir's an architect, so he's probably like, in different sites and
Yeah.
working in an office space
Yeah.
and
So
do-
yeah, I mean, saying that, I had to leave my job. Um, 8 months into TSW, I had to leave my job because it just got to a point where the insomnia got to a crazy level. I was getting like 2 to 3 hours of sleep a day, and I'd be crashing at the end of the week. And what started happening with me was, which I'm sure a lot of TSW people are familiar with, was like it's a mixture of a panic attack and an itch attack. So you go into this really anxious mode, you panic, and your response to the panic is you start itching vigorously. So that started happening a lot more frequently for me. And because of that, I decided I needed to leave the job because I couldn't perform to the level that they needed me to. And it was time that I needed to move on and fix my body to the full infinity. So
remind us how long you've been into TSW or how long you were into TSW before you got here.
before I got here, I think I was about 1 year and 6 months. And right now, I'm sitting at 1 year and 11 months.
Yeah, we're about the same.
We're about the same. Yeah, 1 year and 11 months. So January will be my anniversary for 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
Yeah.
are the same.
Yeah, January. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There you
January
go.
1st.
Yeah, yeah. I started 15th January. I remember it was
Okay.
after summer. I had a really good summer that summer. That was the best summer ever. It was actually. It
I
was.
had a
It's,
good summer too.
yeah, it was funny. I feel like God or whatever the universe or whatever was setting me up for this because that summer
Mm,
leading up to it was probably one of the best summers I had. Like just having fun and skin was really good at that point
I
as well.
know.
Like everything was sweet. Like yeah, but then and then bang, January came. TSW, boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
I actually personally, and I don't think I've shared this with anyone on any of these interviews,
Yeah.
I had my COVID vaccines, and it was kind of after that that my immune system crashed. And I think that's when TSW actually really was
Uh,
triggered in my
yeah, I
body.
mean, I've heard a lot of news about how COVID vaccines affect other things. I don't know if I've personally gotten affected by it. The problem with me was when I was back home, right? When I was probably like the last 6 months of me coming here, I was so bad that I didn't know what was flaring me up or what was
Mm,
affecting me.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
I would just wake up not wanting to be fit to be honest with everyone here, not wanting to live. Like I woke up every day just thinking about how I'm gonna survive this whole day and then get into the next day if I can go to sleep. That is, like it was just what am I doing to get this better? So the I remember the when I planned everything with Thailand and got my tickets ready and talked to Jay and told him that I'm coming, blah blah. The 3 months I remember that led up to the me coming to Bangkok was probably the worst time ever because I just wasn't getting better and it was so stagnant that I was just in a pool of darkness. Like I couldn't think about how to get better. I wasn't positive about anything rather. Coming to Bangkok, I was so nervous because I came with my mom. So my mom came with me. Mom, love my mom. She's helped me throughout this whole journey. Without her, I would be nowhere. She helped me with everything. I had to be. I was basically a little baby throughout this whole thing. Oh, not now. I'm a man now. um, but
A good
in
looking man, everyone.
Thank you. But in the deep end of TSW, I was a baby. I needed help with clothes.
Samir, we couldn't extend our arms. We
Yeah,
couldn't
no,
do
no. I
anything.
mean, I had days where, as you would, I would be in bed the whole day. I couldn't move. And if you paired no sleep with that, oh, I was so bad. I hated those days. I remember those days. It felt like I was in purgatory. That's the best way I could describe it. I felt like I was in purgatory. Like I was couldn't move. Anything I do would just react with my body. My skin would feel bad. It would be itchy. It would be sore. It would be, yeah. It would just, my lips were moving the way it's moving right now. I'll tell you that. Like I could not smile for the last 6 months of me coming back here, and even that first like month or two. My lips would not smile. Like I could not smile. Right now, you can't stop me from smiling. But yeah. Sorry, I kind of
No,
forgot
it's
where I was
okay.
at.
I wanted to ask you though, when you would flare back home, where
Mm.
would you feel it? Did you still get heat?
My face was the worst,
Yeah,
which is surprising because it's recovered the quickest out
really
of
well.
everything. As I was saying earlier before, um, everything's been healing at a pretty good level. My face and neck are probably the best. It's pretty much back to sort of as normal as it can get. The hardened skin on my face and neck has dropped dramatically. I just have parts of my body which is kind of like the knee area and in
Armpits.
the arms, sort of the elbow, inside the elbow area, and the hands itself, which is the stubborn areas of hardened skin and the itchy part of things that is still yet to get back to a level that I'm satisfied with. Whereas my face and my neck, I can go without using the serum. I actually tested it. I went to Phuket the 6 days ago.
Mm.
Um, my mistake. I did a stupid mistake. I forgot to pack my bottle of serum. So I took my physio
What?
gel. Yeah, stupid mistake. I was in a rush, and I did a stupid mistake.
Okay, but
And
Samir, did you take your own sheets? Did you take all the,
yeah,
like the
all the other
list?
things were there.
All
It
the
was
other
just it
stuff
was
was
just the
there.
serum wasn't there. I didn't
Okay.
take my serum. Um, so I didn't take my serum, and then when I got to the airport, I'm like, oh shit, I just did a really big no no. But then I talked to Jay, and he was like, you know what? I think he was quite confident. And you know how Jay talks, he's confident. He'll tell you how it is. Like he'll tell you if you're bad, if you're good. He's like your skin's strong enough, you'll manage. And I actually managed. Like my trouble areas, which is inside my elbows and behind my knee, they were dried up and they got a bit itchy and things like that. I managed with that though. But my face and neck, which was what I was surprised with the most, it was normal for the first time. I think in my whole life, for the first time, because I don't remember what happened before I was 5 years old. Who does? Um, for the first time ever, I felt like I had normal skin. It was soft. I would get out of the shower. I would be normal. I would, yeah, just what my face was normal. Like I felt like I was like, is this what normal people feel like?
So
Like
you
that
feel
was
tightness on your face still?
certain areas. Like my lips are a bit tight,
Mm.
but other than that, not really. No, yeah, yeah. Neck is good. Like everything's yeah, everything on my face. The tightness I feel is on my
Yeah.
inside my elbows and behind
Under
my
the
knee.
knee.
That's my stubborn areas at the moment, which flared up a few weeks
I
ago.
was just gonna ask you.
Mm.
So where, when you flare now,
Yes,
where does it? Where do you feel it the most?
it is my arms. So elbow, inside my elbow, forearm and bicep area, um, and behind my knee and inside of my
Your
legs.
thighs.
Those are the trouble areas that flare up
Okay.
pretty often. No, they don't flare up often, but when I do flare up, that's where they flare up.
Talk to us about your technique at home. What are you doing? What are you doing to shed the hardened skin,
Um,
and what's working for
quite
you?
minimal. I do is it water therapy?
The water technique.
Water technique. Sorry, I keep saying therapy.
It's okay.
I do water technique on my hands once a day. That's helped. Other than that, I just practice exactly what Jay has mentioned. Stay away from irritants that do bother you. Come home, shower, stay in a cool environment, clean with water, stay away from chemicals, eat good. I've been exercising as well, so that's kind of helped me. I think just like the sweating and the feeling active again has felt more less lethargic and better off my feet. Obviously, with a lot of people when it comes to TSW, I had to personally as well. I had to drop exercising. I'm heavy. I used to go train 5 days a week, 4 days a week, sometimes even twice a day. I would run in the morning, and I would exercise at night or fight or something like that. But I had to completely drop that once I got into the um, once I got into TSW. So that part of me was a big part of me that I had to give up. But now that I'm getting it back, it's put me back in a better groove, better mental state, better physical state as well. But yeah, yeah, just general things like that. Like nothing fancy, I would say, but just staying away. I don't do a lot in Bangkok, to be honest.
Mm.
I probably go out now that I've been getting better. I've been going out more, visiting the islands, visiting south of Thailand more, swimming more. But before, like the first sort of 4ish months, I didn't really do much. Just stayed in my apartment, really. Yeah. And if I would be hanging out with other cappers, it would be at their apartments. So,
Yeah, we
yeah,
do a lot
yeah,
of that.
yeah, yeah,
You go home, 27 treatments. You're
yeah.
going home early December. What's the weather like in New Zealand at that point?
A good thing is I am coming at summer,
Okay.
so I'm going when summer starts. The bad thing is, if any New Zealander or Kiwi is watching this, they'll know this. New Zealand weather is the most temperamental weather on the planet.
Mm.
So it could be summer, but it will be raining the next day, or it will be storming for a week. So that's the problem with New Zealand weather. But I am coming to summer, so in general, it will be a lot hotter. But yeah,
Practically speaking, in your apartment, do you sit with the AC or do you sit with like
AC.
AC?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll have it on low, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I'll have
Okay.
it AC. Yeah.
Um, so I know you mentioned earlier you're just a tad nervous about what happens when you get home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Talk
would say. I
talk
would
a
say.
little bit about that. Talk a little bit about, okay, you get home, you're probably like, your family's going to be super super thrilled to see you,
Yeah, of course. Yes.
but everybody's going to work towards making sure your environment is conducive to continue to heal.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what other thoughts are going through your mind in terms of what your next steps are? And like, I know that you really haven't been given a full throttle treatment plan because we have the hardened skin bit. We've used
Mm.
steroids all our life. It's kind of hard to know like when you're out of, you know,
Yeah.
phase one, hitting phase two. Phase one means your skin looks normal, and then you don't flare for like 6 months. That's when you can move to phase or stage two.
Mm.
But Samir and I probably will have never have like fully normal skin.
Yeah.
We're gonna aspire for like 90 or 95%.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just kind of like, where's your head at for this next chapter?
Well, I've got a couple of plans in my mind, right? So like, if my worst come to worst, I will probably plan on coming back here.
Okay.
If New Zealand isn't suited for me, if my environment isn't suited for me, I will plan on coming back to Bangkok in maybe the next few months, sort of thing. Not the next few months, sorry. I would say maybe the next 6 months.
Okay.
But if all goes to plan, I will stay in New Zealand. If the main thing is my healing rate, right? Right now, my healing rate is at 100% because I am going to cap every week. um, Eventually when you drop cap, your healing rate will drop, but there are things that I will do that will try keep it up. For instance, swimming. So I'm gonna be New Zealand's quite Auckland is quite good. We're close to a lot of nice beaches, so I'm gonna be swimming 3 times a week. I'm gonna be still administrating the water technique on my hands, and just try to practice a low chemical, low toxic life, and carry on with what
And
I'm
you'll
doing.
keep all of us updated
Of
on how
course,
you're
yes, yeah,
doing.
no, 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 of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the good scenario, but yeah, I mean, the thing is with TSW, right? I think you will agree with this. You can plan, but you can't really plan.
Right.
You gotta have a couple of plans in your mind, like what happens when this happens, what happens if my skin does this, what happens if I get a really bad reaction and I gotta do this and that. So I think the one thing that we all will learn, or anyone that is going through TSW will learn, and people that have gone through TSW for a while will learn, is that you gotta be ready for kind of whatever, right? You gotta plan ahead. You gotta not plan ahead. You gotta plan ahead, but you gotta have multiple plans ahead. Like you can't
Scenario plan.
you gotta plan for every scenario, which is why I think it's good because I personally am an overthinker, so an overthinking person. So that has made me think about every single thing that I need to tackle through.
I
But
think
yeah,
um I think with that we'll sort of close out. But Samira, I assume it goes without saying that
yeah.
you needed cap.
Yeah, no, 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 no. I
Okay,
needed
right.
cap. There was no doubt that I needed cap. I don't know how or what I would have done if cap didn't exist on this planet. I will tell you that 100 and 100 million times and 110% that I needed cap. There was no I don't know what I would have done without cap. But yeah, yeah. I needed J, I needed cap, I needed all of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Um what do I want to say? I want to say, okay, I do want to say this. I want to say this to people that are struggling with the moisturizing aspect for it, because I felt like when I got here, a lot of people were over the whole moisturizing drive, and no one was moisturizing. Everyone was over that, and I was the one that was still struggling with moisturizing, and I felt like I was in a boat by myself. So I want to tell everyone that's watching this that either has a partner or a friend or a daughter or a son or whatever, or a brother or a sister that is going through this, or even a friend. Um, my best advice to you is that if you can, drop that moisturizing if you're going through the end of TSW, especially if you have hardened skin, because that's gonna make it worse, like it has for me. And yeah, just if you need any help, you got Alia, you got me. Hit me up. I'll put my Instagram on the bio, link in bio. Um, um, but yeah, no, just drop that moisturizing, and you will thank me for it. You will thank yourself for it. You will thank everyone for it, because
It
I
just
think that's
makes
the
it worse.
all of TSW. I think that was the best decision I made, was to drop moisturizing. For me personally, I would say getting over moisturizing was harder than dropping the topical steroids, because I think I built a very big addiction to it from a kid, from being a kid, because I did it since I was 5 years old. So dropping that for me made the big change, made me heal faster. My skin started getting stronger. Just everything started happening good. But yeah, so that's kind of like my one advice: drop moisturizing.
You had lots of great advice in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And Samir, it's just like such a privilege to get to
No, of course,
share
yes,
this with you,
yes,
and
yeah, yeah.
for you to, share your story with everybody,
Hmm.
because all of these stories are super unique.
Yep, yep, for sure.
And I didn't even know that that I would go down this path of like interviewing
Of
people
course, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't think I would be part of an interview
but
like
it's
mics
so
and things, you know. So yeah.
it warms my heart because I remember like yesterday what it felt like when I first met you. And so
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just really proud of you.
Complete different headspace, no? So yeah, yeah,
I'm
no,
really proud of you.
yeah, no. Thank you, and I'm proud of you as well. You've came a long way as well, like crazy, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.